Well, what does the fox say? Does anybody know what the fox says? I'm not really sure I've ever heard a fox say anything. And I know it's not Friday, but we are going to read Fantastic Mr. Fox today. So would you like to get cozy? And would you like to get your Fantastic Mr. Fox? We're going to open it on chapter 7, okay? So chapter 7 is called We'll Never Let Him Go. Oh my goodness gracious me, and I know we were guessing the last time what we thought might happen. Does anybody have another guess? We'll never let him go. What they think might happen in this chapter? Any guesses? Oh, a few there. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, it's on page 29. All right. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Bean switched off the motor of his tractor and climbed down from the driver's seat. Bunce did the same. Both men had had enough. They were tired and stiff from driving tractors all day. They were also hungry. Slowly, they walked over to the small fox's hole in the bottom of the huge crater. Bean's face was purple with rage. Bunce was cursing the fox with dirty words that cannot be printed. Bogus came waddling up. "Dang and blast that filthy, stinking fox," he said. "What the heck do we do now?" "I'll tell you what we don't do," Bean said. "We don't let him go." "We'll never let him go," Bunce declared. "Never, never, never," cried Bogus. "Did you hear that, Mr. Fox?" yelled Bean, bending low and shouting down the hole. "It's not over yet. Mr. Fox, we're not going home till we've strung you up dead as a dingbat." Whereupon the three men all shook hands with one another and swore a solemn oath. Ooh, an oath. They swore a solemn oath, that's kind of like a promise, that they would not go back to their farms until the fox was caught. "What's the next move?" asked Bunce, the pot-bellied dwarf. "We're sending you down the hole to fetch him up," said Bean. "Now down you go, you miserable midget." "Not me!" screamed Bunce, running away. Bean made a sickly smile. A sickly smile. That's a kind of funny thing to say. Kind of like a sly, proud smile, not a nice smile. When he smiled, you saw his scarlet gums. You saw more gums than you did teeth. "There's only one thing to do," he said. "We'll starve him out. We camp here day and night, watching the hole. He'll come out in the end. He'll have to." So Bogus and Bunce and Bean sent messages down to their farms, asking for tents and sleeping bags and supper. Chapter 8. The foxes begin to starve. Do you think the foxes are going to come out? Yes or no? What do you think? Maybe. That evening, 3 tents were put up in the crater on the hill. What's a crater? Who can remember? It's in one of the pictures. One for Bogus, one for Bunce, and one for Bean. The tents surrounded Mr. Fox's hole, and the 3 farmers sat outside their tents eating their supper. Bogus had 3 boiled chickens smothered in dumplings. Bunce had 6 doughnuts filled with disgusting goose liver paste. And Bean had 2 gallons of cider. All 3 of them kept their guns beside them. Bogus picked up a steaming chicken and held it close to the fox's hole. "Can you smell this, Mr. Fox?" he shouted. "Lovely, tender chicken. Why don't you come and get it?" The rich scent of chicken wafted down the tunnel to where the foxes were crouching. "Oh, Dad," said one of the small foxes, "couldn't we just sneak up and snatch it out of his hand?" "Don't you dare," said Mrs. Fox. "That's just what they want you to do." "But we're so hungry," they cried. "How long is it going to be until we get something to eat?" Their mother didn't answer them, nor did their father. There was no answer to give. As darkness fell, Bunce and Bean switched on the powerful headlamps of the 2 tractors and shone them onto the hole. "Now," said Bean, "we'll take it in turn to keep watch. 1 watches while 2 sleep, and so on all through the night." Bogus said, "What if the fox digs a hole right through the hill and comes out the other side?" "You didn't think of that one, did you?" "Of course I did," said Bean, pretending that he had. "Go on then, tell us the answer," said Bogus. Bean picked something small and black out of his ear and flicked it away. "How many men have you got working on your farm?" he asked. 35, Bogus said. "I've got 36, said Bunce. I've got nearly 37, Bean said. That makes 108 men altogether. We must order them to surround the hill. Each man will have a gun and a flashlight. There will be no escape then for Mr. Fox. So the order went down to the farms, and that night 108 men formed a tight ring around the bottom of the hill. They were armed with sticks and guns and hatchets and pistols and all sorts of other horrible weapons. This made it quite impossible for a fox, or indeed for any other animal, to escape from the hill. The next day, the watching and the waiting went on. Boniface and Bunce and Bean sat upon small stools, staring at the fox's hole. They didn't talk much. They just sat there with their guns on their laps, and every so often Mr. Fox would creep a little closer towards the mouth of the tunnel and take a sniff, and then he would creep back again and say, "They're still there." "Are you quite sure?" Mrs. Fox would ask. "Positive," said Mr. Fox. "I can smell that man Bean a mile away. He stinks." And that's the end of chapter 7 and chapter 8. Now, I would like you to grab your February workbook, week 3. This one here. Okay? Now, when you open it, you'll need to go past the pages that we've already done, past your Lent promise, past the sun, and on to, oh, I nearly skipped it, the next page, which has Fantastic Mr. Fox, chapter 7 and 8, written in green. And you've got to figure some things out, okay? So it says, what is an oath? And you need to write a full sentence for that answer, because we know that an oath is something that they did in the first chapter that we read, chapter 7. Okay, at the bottom it says, they shook hands with each other and swore a solemn oath. It's at the bottom of that page. So they shook hands with each other and they swore a solemn oath. So what's it like? It's like a promise, that's right. So you're going to have to put into a full sentence, what is an oath? And question number 2. Which word in the first sentence on page 31, so I'll need to turn to page 31. Okay, and I'll need to look at the first sentence. The first sentence says, that evening, 3 tents were put up on in the crater on the hill. 1 for Bogus, 1 for Bunce, and 1 for Bean. So the first sentence, all the way until the first full stop. So which word in the first sentence told us that there was still a big hole? That evening, 3 tents. Do any of those mean hole? No. Were put up. Does that mean hole? No. In the crater? In the what? In the crater. Interesting. I wonder what crater means. On the hill. So see if you can figure out which word in that sentence means a big hole. Question number 3. What is the farmer's latest plan? So the next bit, chapter 8, is when the farmers decide to do something else. What did they decide to do? They decided not to dig anymore, but to camp out. And what are they going to do? Yeah. Who's going to help them? That's right. So you need to use question 3 to tell me all about what their latest plan is. It might be one sentence you use, or it might be more than one sentence. Okay, so you need to tell me all about their latest plan. Then question number 4, it says, can you think of some synonyms? Synonyms we've done already. That's when you have a word that is a different word, but it means the same thing. Like warm is a word, but hot is a synonym because it means the same thing, but it's a different word. So can you think of a synonym for the words in chapter 7 and 8? Okay, so stiff, fetch, formed, and creep. Okay, and it tells you the pages they're on, because if you forget what it said about them, you can go and read the sentence that it's in, and then you can think of a different word that you could use instead of those words, okay? So, when you can think of a different word, you just write your own different word in this box, and that's you done. All right? I can't wait to see which words you come up with. Alrighty? Off you go, pause me, and do that. Super job on getting all of that fantastic Mr. Fox stuff done. Are you enjoying that story? I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And you know what? I really hope that the foxes come up with their own plan, because right now the farmers are thinking of lots of plans. The poor foxes must be getting very hungry. Anyways, now our spellings for me, it's our last day this week for doing our work in it. So we're on our unit 13, same as we've been on all week. And you can choose if you would prefer to do this page or the activities page. So on this page, you know what to do. You just need to do your pictures, your words and sentences, and then your words with no help. Or you can go on to the next page, page 65, and you can do your letter strings activity. And you know what to do there. You can either choose a letter or you can choose a sound that is in lots of your learning words. So if the letter I is in lots of your learning words, put I in the middle circle and then write all the words that have an I in them. Okay? And once you've done that, you'll be finished your spellings for me for the whole week. I'm going to go and get ready for a shake break, and I would love to see all of you up dancing with me. Some of the mummies or daddies or other people who are watching you do your work have been sending me some videos of you doing shake breaks or of you sitting on the couch not doing shake breaks. I know who you are, so you better get up and start shaking with me. Come on. Okay, so for shake break today, we're going to do a really cool song, and we need to pretend to be superheroes in it. Okay, so if you have a cape, you might want to put on your cape, because we are all superheroes, and you better have lots of space, because we're going to be doing a lot of running around. Okay, let me press play. Strong muscles. Speak. Strong. Fast. Did you get them? Did you get all those bad guys? You did. Phew! Thank goodness the first class superheroes were on hand to get all of those bad guys. And now we're going to get our maths books and make sure that nobody stole them. Go get them. Make sure nobody stole your maths book. So I just got my one, right? Thank goodness no monsters or aliens or creepy GP people stole my Busy at Maths. Hope you've got yours too. I just opened my Busy at Maths on page 109. So pause me while you open yours on that one too. Now, to help me with this page, I grabbed my 100 square, but you could also, if you don't want your 100 square, you could grab your number line. Now, I've just written a number line up here because I knew it would be a little bit easier to show you, but you can use your actual number line that you have, or you can use your counters. Okay, so I've got my counters right beside me here as well, just in case I need them. Okay, so you can choose number line or 100 square or counters. Okay, and we have to try. This is the start, and we have to try and make a path to the finish. Okay, you can't see the finish on my page, but you'll be able to see it on yours. The finish is the other green spot. You can only go sideways, sideways, up, or down. There's no going diagonal, okay? So you can't go diagonally. It has to be like straight across or straight up or down, okay? And we are trying to only help them step on the stones that make 18, okay? But we have to check, because even though they've given us some of the answers, they've actually made a big mistake and left out some of the numbers. So what we need to do is we need to figure out which sums actually make 18 and then colour those ones in. So, for example, we'll go to the start, to the very first one. Read it with me. It says, 9 plus 6 plus equals 18. Okay, so I'll start on 9, and then it says plus 6. So I'll do plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, keep my finger there because it needs me, so I'm going to keep my finger on 15. It needs me to try to get 18, so it needs to know how many more do I need to get to 18. Okay, so I'm trying to get to 18, so I'll count on 1, 2, 3. So I needed 3 more. So I can put 3 in here. 9 plus 6 plus 3 does make 18. Okay. 5 plus 4 plus equals 18. Well, I'll start on the first number, that's 5 plus 4. Okay, so 5 plus 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need to see how many more until I can get to the answer, and the answer is 18. Okay, so I'll stop when I get to 18. I need 1 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more. Stop when I get to 18. So I needed 9 more numbers. 5 plus 4 plus 9 makes 18. Okay. And I know that those ones are beside each other, so I can do an arrow in there. Okay, let's go across to the next one. It says 8 plus 2 plus equals 18. Okay. You do it yourself. Start on. That's right, 8 plus 2. Okay, 1, 2. Plus makes, and where are we going to stop? Check where we need to stop. At 18. Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm stopping at 18. So 8 more needed. And that does make 18, so we can put an arrow across. Okay? The biggest trick that you might find on this page is not stopping at the right number. So make sure you check the equal sign to see which number you need to stop at. Start on the first number, count on for the next number, and then see how many more you need to get to the equals number. okay? And then make your path using across, up or down arrows, or you can colour the stones in if you prefer, to make a path of 18 hopping all the way to the finish. Alrighty? Off you go. Press pause so you can do it. Okay, so I've got some new cards for us to do today, okay? So the first thing it's going to tell us to do today is some ski jumps. I'll show you those. It's telling us to do some tunnels. I'll show you those. And it's telling us to do some bunny jumps, okay? So ski jumps, tunnels, and bunny jumps. Okay, so what we're gonna do for a ski jump is we're gonna bring our arms backwards and up. Good. Jump, jump. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now a tunnel means we need to make a tunnel. So we're going to keep our feet on the floor and we're going to stretch our arms out like this. We're going to make a tunnel. 1, thumbs in the air. 2, 3, 4. Up you go. Ready for 5, 6. That's it. Ready? 3 more. So we'll do 7, 8, 9. 1 more. 10. Very good. Now our bunny jumps are going to be tipping the floor and jumping up. Let's do 5. Are you ready? Steady. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent job. Nice to have some new ones, isn't it? Okay, get ready for art, everybody. Okay, how did you get on with that shake break? We're gonna do some art bits and pieces now. And in school, we have art as a subject, but we also have arts, and music, art and drama all come into that category. So for art this time, we're going to need our February week 3 workbook, and it's going to be all about Fantastic Mr. Fox. So, after the questions we did on Fantastic Mr. Fox earlier, there is the next page that has a big circle on it that says Mr. Fox's tail. And what we need to do is we need to cut out that page, okay? So I'm going to cut that page out of my workbook. Okay. And then I can leave my workbook over here. Okay? Now the other things I'm going to need are I'm going to need a scissors, I'm going to need some glue, and I'm going to need the orange and the white crepe paper that were in your pack. Okay? So make sure that you get those. Can you find them? Pause me if you need to. Okay, so what we're going to do first is see on this, you've got a grey circle and then a green spiral. We're going to cut out the grey circle. So maybe watch first so that you don't get mixed up. I'm just going to cut really carefully along the grey line in a circle. Okay, we're making Mr. Fox's tail. I'm not sure if you knew that or not, but we are making a tail. Okay. So now I have cut out the grey circle and now I just have a green line left in the middle, okay? What we're going to do is see where it starts at the edge. Can you see that bit? We're going to get our scissors and we're going to cut along that bit. I'll try and do it backwards so you can see. So look, going to go along the green line really carefully, going along the green line. Along the green line, really carefully. Oh, I think I went off it a little bit. Along the green line. Along the green line. We're nearly at the end. Along the green line. Aha! And it doesn't chop anything off, but look what it's done. It's made like a spiral. Can you see that? And you can hold it whichever way you like. See that? It's made a bit of a spiral. It looks... Ooh, it's got an end on it. Okay, and if you put it down, it just turns back, if I show you, into its circle. Then we can lift it up. It's in its spiral. See? Okay, so pause me if you need a few minutes to do that. Okay? The next thing we're gonna do, there we go. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our rolls of crepe paper. Okay? And we're gonna cut them into strips. So, do you see the way it's kind of all wound up? I hope you haven't unwound yours. And see the way you can kind of open it and see all these bits? Well, if you open it so that you can see in where the middle bit is, you might need some help with this bit. Aha, I think I found the middle. Okay? So you're going to put your scissors in through the middle. You see that? In the middle. Oh, look, I forgot one. Into the middle of it. And then you're going to snip it at the end. And then cut that bit in half. Look, now you've got long strips and we'll cut them in half. Or about half, maybe not be exactly half. So now I've got lots of long white strips. And we do the same with the orange one. So we'll kind of open it until we can find the middle. Okay, that's not the middle. Try that on that side. No, that's not the middle either. Okay, one more I think. Yes, that would be the middle. Okay, so scissors in, snip. I've got a long strip and I want to make it shorter, so I'll cut it in half. Okay, so now I've got orange strips and I've got white strips. Now I need my glue because we're going to make a tail. And a fox's tail is normally orange, 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 and then a little bit of white, white, white at the end. So I'm going to do my orange first. And I'm going to start in the middle, okay? Wait till I see, can you see this? So I'm going to start and I'm going to put my glue in the middle and I'm going to bring it all the way around. Maybe not all the way so it doesn't dry, but I'm going to bring it all the way around except for the end. I'm going to leave the end white, okay? So let me just do that so I can show you. Okay, so glue in the middle, glue all the way around. I'm using my helping hand to hold it on the table and my strong hand to spread the glue. Okay, I'll put my lid on. Now, I'm going to get my orange strips of paper and I'm going to stick them on to the fox's tail. So look, I'm just going to stick. And I kind of like to leave them, see this, coming off like bits of hair. Because foxes are furry, so this will make them seem a little bit furry. So you can just stick them on whatever way you want to. Whoop! Oh, it's turning into a furry fox's tail. Let's see. Yep. I'm just going to keep sticking all the orange bits on, you see? Sticking lots of orange. So I quite like, wait till I see if I can show you. I quite like it, kind of sticking them sideways. So there's a bit that stays on the glue and then a bit that hangs off the edge. I'll do another one to show you. Look. So stick it on so that there is a bit stuck on and then a bit hanging off the side. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of them, so hang on there for a minute. Okay, so I have just stuck all my orange ones on. I actually have some spare orange strips, and if I wanted to, I could cut them into smaller pieces and put lots and lots of extra bits. You can spend as much time on this as you like. And at the minute, I have got, a bit of a fox's tail. Some people might even like to stick some orange on the bottom as well, so that it's completely covered in orange. Now I have left a little bit at the end. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to get my glue and I'm going to put glue on the bit that has been left white at the end. And then to make it furry like a fox's tail, I'm going to get my white pieces of crepe paper and I'm going to stick them on. And I like sticking them on the same way. I like kind of sticking some of it on and then leaving, hairy bits down, down, down. Oh, that bit nearly fell off. It's trying to escape the fox's tail. Aha. Okay, so if I hold the middle of it now, I have got Mr. Fox's tail. Have you got a fox's tail? Oh my goodness. Okay, so we did our art bit and we made Mr. Fox's tail. Now what we need to do with it is we need to act out our favourite part of the story so far. It might be the bit where the fox loses his tail, so you could attach it and pretend to be the fox. You could use your mask, and you could do the bit where somebody else shoots him and it falls off. Or it could be the fox's digging, so you could have digging, and the fox's tail left behind. Or you could just put it on and pretend to be a fox and act out your favourite bit and pretend he still has his tail. But I want you to think for a minute. Now close your eyes. Think about what has been your favourite part of the story so far. Got it? Excellent. So I want you to use the tail to turn into Mr. Fox. You can use your mask if you want. And I want you to act out your favourite part of Fantastic Mr. Fox so far. It can be anything. It doesn't matter if he does have his tail or if he doesn't have his tail. I just want you to act it. You might need somebody else in your house to help act it if you need other characters, or you might need other props if you want to get those. That's totally fine. But I want you to act out your favourite part of Fantastic Mr. Fox, okay? And then send me a video on Seesaw so I can see and I can have a guess what your favourite part is. You might decide to keep it silent and just act, or you might decide to have words. Like if I was doing Fantastic Mr. Fox and I was doing the bit where it got shot off me, I'd go, ow! Ouch! Or, and you can say things too. Or you can be Mr. Fox and you can say, Mrs. Fox, or small foxes, keep digging, you've got to dig faster. If that was your favourite part, okay? Or you could be Mr. Fox sneaking out to get a chicken. I can smell Bogus's chicken house #1, or something like that. So act out your favourite bit and tell me, okay? And then if you would like to add some music into it, you can make up a little rhyme to sing for Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox, where's your tail, where's your tail? Where is it today? That could be a little song. Or you can say, Mr. Fox, where's your tail, where's your tail? Uh-oh, it's gone. You can make up a song to go with it if you like as well. Okay? I can't wait to see all your acting and see what's going to happen with your Mr. Fox's tails. It might not even be a real part of the story. It might just be something you made up for Mr. Fox's tail. Have fun, and me and Mr. Fox's tail will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. See you later.